Motivational Shit podcast, bringing the high energy, bringing the vibes, bringing the electricity, and bringing the positivity. Hey, let's get it. Hey.
Wow.
Well, I was sick last week, so I had to come back. You know what I mean? I had to come back and double up. So
Okay.
yeah,
you got all of that out of your brother.
Oh yeah, man. Yo, I got all that out. Out of my system. I'm good. I'm healed up. And today, first of all, shouts out to Yale Entertainment. Right? Anybody want a podcast? DM me, Lightworker Wayne.
Oh,
all right. We are searching for new shows to produce. Okay. I want to say shouts out to Empress, Ashanti.
Ashanti.
Hi guys, I'm back at it again. How y'all feeling today on this beautiful Sunday? It's a new week, a new day, a new month for opportunities and blessings. I'm feeling amped, man.
Okay.
And we also have a brother from our first season,
Yay.
Mr. Baba Soul,
Yeah.
the legend himself,
the legend of
the medicine man, the priest, the MC.
Oh, hold up now. I told you, don't be labeling me all these things, bro. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Okay. It's good to be in the building. You feel?
You feel?
Yes, and we have today a very important guest, two guests that are here, one in spirit and one in flesh. We have Madam Clark of Chief Nighthawk Therapy.
Yeah.
What's good?
Hey.
Welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, definitely. And we also have Chief Nighthawk here.
That's right.
Love and spirit. Mm-hmm. So before I, begin, I want to say like this. I wanted to give a shout out to Empress and Blue. This brother been telling me a lot about the legend of your husband, about everything that y'all have been doing for the community.
Okay.
And y'all been doing it in truth and righteousness and honesty and positivity.
Yeah.
During this, and I feel like, our platform, I'm glad and I'm honored to have you here.
Yeah.
Because the spiritual community been going through a mix right now, been getting some of the bad seeds out.
Yes.
And y'all always been the good seeds.
No.
And y'all always been flourishing and healing people. And it's just an honor, to be in your presence, be an honor to hear about the legend. And hey, we all here to hear the story. Like, what I want to start there.
I'm so grateful to be here. I'm glad that you have me here, and I'm excited to talk about Chief Nighthawk for all of the people that don't know him. Baba Soul, knew him.
Aquarian brother, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Aquarian brother.
Yes.
Hey.
So what do you want? Where do you want me to start?
Okay, for the people who don't know,
Yes.
if you could, tell them what services,
Yes.
how you and your husband, how y'all started, it just the impact.
Yeah, so this journey started over 10 years ago. We started by going to ceremonies with different shamans that would come to the States, and ayahuasca ceremonies. So we started there. Tellus felt very much called to the medicine, and I really had predicted it, prior to even doing ceremonies. I'm an artist, and I had did a canvas piece with his locks that he had decided to cut his locks off. And I said, you're a shaman on that piece. And he was like, what's that? And we still have that piece, but I explained to him what a shaman was, because you have to remember, I met him maybe a year after he got out of prison. So I got to see and witness a huge transformation of somebody that I've known on both sides of that coin. of being a medicine man, being a father, um, being my mate, for almost 17 years. So when Tellus got called to the medicine, that's after much work that he had did on himself. Um, really digging deep and taking the time, to really mend a lot of brokenness, I would say, that we all have, especially us in this Black community. We go through, we have specific traumas and stuff that you know is unique to us. And what happens with the medicine is that we are able to tap into those, to our DNA, and really eradicate a lot of things that we deal with that's very common, such as racial trauma. When, as a Black man in America, I'm not a Black man, but I remember going to Cuba with someone, and they were like, I've never felt, as a Black man, this is the first time that no one is looking at me and judging me and feeling threatened by me, and that was so huge for me, because I was like, dang, and this person was 50 years old. So I think a lot of times Black men have a particular trauma in itself that you kind of desensitize yourself to. You know what I'm saying? But it's there. And that's just one of the facets that we deal with as a community. So the plant medicine, psychedelics have really, to me, if done right in sacred settings, really come to help us along our journey. And we're not doing anything new. The ancients did this too. The indigenous peoples, this is what they did. So we're just coming back online during this renaissance of psychedelics and saying, we demand our position.
And I want to speak about that. Like last week, I was doing my trainings for a certified peer specialist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they was talking on the subject matter about healing from trauma.
Yes.
And everyone wrote down different suggestions. I was one of the people that wrote down mushroom trips, and they kind of looked at me a little weird. You know what I'm saying? And I quickly had to educate them that, hey, these was used by the ancients.
Yes.
And these really do help when they're not abused.
Absolutely.
And just like my good brother, Baba Soul said, I remember at the wellness event a couple years ago, you have to put your intention into these plants.
Yes.
And use them in a certain space. So I want to say, for the people that's don't know about ayahuasca.
I always say ashwagandha too.
Yeah. I was about to say ashwagandha.
Say ashwagandha right in there.
Yeah. For the people who don't know about
ayahuasca.
There you go.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it?
So it is. It's a plant that is native to Peru, in that it is psychoactive. Basically, it is called the visionary medicine, meaning you can have visions, past, present, or future, and everything in between. You know what I'm saying? And we also call her grandmother. So like most of our grandmothers, your grandma don't play, but she's there to she's there to love on you, regardless to what you got going on, right? She's there to give you correction, direction, constructive criticism, need be, right? So a lot of times what I found very in my own personal journeys with ayahuasca, I found very common is that if it really changes your perception about things that have happened to you. So say that you were abused at 5 years old, and you've only been able to see that experience one way. What Aya has the potential to do is to help you see it a different way. Like, for instance, if you hadn't gone through that, you wouldn't be the person you are today. And she might show you that in real time, in efforts for you to be able to look at it from a different lens. And once you look at it from a different lens, this is what frees us. This is what heals us. essentially healing is a change of perception, which in a lot of times is a miracle. And what is a miracle? Something that seems impossible but happens anyway. And so that's what I would say about ayahuasca, and that's the way it kind of reboots the. Tellus would always say, Chief Nighthawk would always say, it's like cleaning your hard drive. You know, when you have a computer that you have so much information on, it starts running sluggish, starts running slow, starts having viruses. And so the human body is where they got the template for all this technology. You know what I'm saying? If we're honest. And so that template, when you say, we're going to start cleaning this computer up so that you can function better. So that is the aim and the goal of, I would say, of ayahuasca. Yes.
So I've actually done a hape ceremony
Mhm.
as well. Could you inform me the difference between the two? My first hape was an immaculate experience.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure. I've heard about an ayahuasca ceremony as well,
Mhm.
but I never could officiate the two. How does that work?
I mean, they're very different because hape is not psychoactive. You know what I'm saying? Ayahuasca will last you at least 5 hours. So that's just on the base level. Yeah, they're two different worlds.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for our audience, what is a
Hape.
yes. What is a hape?
Hape.
A hape.
Yes. So it's basically like nose snuff. You know how you have the snuff that people chew in their mouth?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a snuff that is also from indigenous peoples where they make it. There's different hapes. So sometimes the community or the tribe would do hape before they hunt. They would do hape before they eat. After they eat, there's hape for you for when you go to bed. So it's administered through the nose. And basically clears a lot of mucus. You would be surprised how many people are just not smelling, not tasting on a daily basis. And so when the senses are dull, so will the intuition be, because the senses are all linked together.
Bars.
So, that's what all these medicines, they're to invigorate the senses, to invigorate the third eye, the sixth sense, you know what I'm saying? So that you can make better decisions in life. Because when you are making decisions from limited information, my left nostril don't work, or I can't taste my food. That may make you eat more or eat less. It just depends. So you want to make decisions when you can look at the full spectrum of reality. But it's hard to do that when you're clouded by so many different things in your environment. What you have to do. You're a mother, you got kids, you're a father, you got to go to 9 to 5. All these things as you get older really take a toll on your well-being, and if you don't have a context to measure that by, you don't know how far that goes. So these medicines are kind of like a wake-up call to like, yo, I got to get myself together, or I didn't know how much this was affecting me.
Got a comment on the stream. Gratitude for all the chief has meant and still means to the community. God bless, Annie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, Emerson, yeah.
Long live the chief.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Wow. Like this is like, so like all these ceremonies that y'all do helps bring people back in. I want to give a testimony of my own personal experience. I had experience with my good brother Empress and my brother Baba Soul over here. I had experience where I tried the hot pay and I tried the sweat lodge in my first time, and wanted to say with the hot pay, it sharpened my senses. I was able to hear the crickets better.
Yes.
I was able to feel the grass. I was grounded. It felt like electricity in the middle of my brain. It was like an electrical charge. And then going into the sweat lounge, and I mean, just sweating. Sweating and hopping back in. I mean, hopping back out. feeling the breeze. It opened the pores. It was like a burst of energy. Like I was doing martial arts. You know what I mean? I was doing kung fu. Yeah, bruh. Bruh, like literally, I felt like Goku. I felt like a Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? I started doing my everybody loves kung fu fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that was the vibe. I was like, yo, imagine if more people, on a Saturday night, instead of going to a club or a lounge, heal yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, making that, if that was a staple, we would probably have a better community. And overnight.
That's my main goal as well, to to provide the knowledge and information how important it is to be intentional about the things that you do. A lot of people go to the club and they go to church on the next day. A lot of people say, oh, God, I'm protected by God. God is my savior. God is this. God is that. God is this. But are you really cleaning the inside as much as you are clean on the outside? Are you that fresh how you say you are on the outside as your insides? So the actions don't align. The foods that you eat do not align. And people can argue with me day in and day out. Oh, my grandparents lived to 90, 95, 100 years old eating meat. But you guys are reading the scripture. It tells you the Most High does not partake in meat. The Most High does not partake in foolery or any kind of foods or anything that will deteriorate the health, deteriorate the soul, deteriorate the mind, deteriorate the path that you are designed to go to. Most people don't get that.
Yeah, and
yeah, please
go ahead.
Well, I'm a Gnostic, so I study the word a lot. You know what I'm saying? And what you're speaking of is the Old Testament. When the bodies were new, the new beings on the planet, they weren't able to digest those different things. But in the New Testament or whatnot, Christ or Yahshua, whatever you want to call him, whatnot, also came to renew and establish new laws as well as correct the things that were being done wrong. And he mentioned that it don't matter what you eat now. You know what I'm saying? Because what you eat does not defile you. It's what comes out of your mouth that defiles you. So when you spew judgment and hate based off of what somebody eats, you're no better than the next person. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people that eat meat. I eat meat now. I used to be vegan for 16 years, but I feel a whole lot better now.
So I can eat a steak. Thank you, brother. Because I'm over here sweating. I got all this sin in my spirit. I'm like, ooh, if they only knew what I was about to do after this show.
I ain't even recording it. I was just holding it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just really feel like at this point, there's a new world being created.
Yes.
And that this is what the messages of all the prophets were speaking of. You know what I'm saying? But it just comes down to your temple is your church. You know what I'm saying? So when you have your temple and you're doing the cleanse, you know what I'm saying? You're going back and remembering through your DNA, through all your ancestors, and you bringing back stuff that we need, because right now we so wrapped up in technology. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it don't really make sense.
Yeah. And we're not focused on the real technology.
Ancient technology.
The nature tech.
Yeah.
This outside. Imagine the world with no nature. I wouldn't want to be here.
Oh yeah.
No sun, no grass, no mountains, no trees. All these trees in Georgia. I love being in Georgia just because of the trees. When I have people visit, they all say, man, I breathe better here. I'm so used to it, but I notice it when I travel. So imagine not having nature.
I actually had a dream this year where, in this dream, I was me, but I was a woman, and I was swimming in the ocean to this island, and this island, it was just all mechanical, and when I was there, it was just nothing but women, and it was women with women. But I was talking to a figure, and in the dream, it's like the figure was a leader or a mayor. Anyway, when I was talking to the figure, she was around all these women, but the women was robots. you know, and yeah, really, if you ask me, that dream was a dream from an alternate dimension of an alternate future, or maybe this future. I don't know, but that
Sure.
dream always stuck with me. So when you said, because in that dream it wasn't no trees, it was just machines. You know, it was just mechanical.
Yeah.
So when you said a life without nature, it made me reflect on the dream. You know what I'm saying? But I want to shift the conversation back to the focus of you, Madam Clark, and Chief Nighthawk. Uh, I see that y'all have an event coming up in October.
Yes.
Would you mind shedding a little bit more light on that?
So Chief Nighthawk was a lecturer. So he would go around to different psychedelic conventions and give a talk, give a speech, or teach a class. And so the last one we went to this year before his passing was in April, was the Miami Psychedelic Conference at Miami University.
Hmm.
And it was very nice because I a lot of times wouldn't go to these events, but I went to this event because I was born in Miami. So I
Okay.
thought maybe I go home, I get to go to the beach, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
going to this one. So I was glad that I went because I was able to meet a lot of people not knowing this was going to happen. You see what I'm saying? And so literally we were in the Airbnb and Tellis was taking a nap, and when he woke up, he said, "Why don't we have a psychedelic conference in Atlanta?" I said, "Dad, that's crazy because Atlanta is the culture."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why are we? It's all these people, black people's here doing psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? But I've never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, "We need to create that." And literally, we have a black and white board in our house, and that was one of the last things he wrote on there. Is plan for psychedelic conference. We had said October, everything, and so I wanted to carry that forward and still do it even though he's not here, because I think it's very necessary that we have education around psychedelics and not just woodstocking these things that have come to help us, so that people in colleges, um, people whose children will do psychedelics one day, you won't be just thinking these are drugs and what is my child doing and you demonizing them for, to be educated about what this is from different perspectives, not one perspective, because even if they decriminalize it and all of that that's talked about, they want to just keep it in one sector of mental health. You know what I'm saying? It's saying somebody with a PhD or a therapist sitting there while you got on the eye mask and headphones laying in the bed. That's a ceremony. That is not a ceremony. It doesn't have any elements, no nature, nothing. And so that's where they want to, keep it streamlined in that way. Only certain people could sit with those people. You have to be certified. You have to, all these rules. And so then it will be hell of expensive, which keeps out marginalized people. So the whole, we have the GoFundMe, I think you posted, and the GoFundMe is for his ultimate vision was to have a healing center, buy some land, have a healing center where not only that he would utilize, but other healers as well, for Black and brown peoples to really go deep and have a sacred space that's our own, that we feel comfortable. Because see, a lot of times when we first started doing ceremonies, we would sit with a lot of groups that was mainly Caucasian people. They would tell us, "Y'all doing what white folks do." You see what I'm saying?
I get that all the time.
And that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? But now it's more of us doing it. And the stigmas are lifting.
Yeah.
But that was a whole different type of experience where you had to think about your safety. You had to think about, should I close my eyes? Should I not close my eyes? And you shouldn't be thinking about that when you're on medicine. So this is an efforts for, that's what the Legacy Fund is about, is raising enough money. And what my goal is to do is not only do the psychedelic conference, but also we're going to be doing some things next year where I'm gonna finish his book. And we're going to have a documentary about Chief Nighthawk, but just Black peoples and psychedelics, period. So I want to have that. I want to have education. Is I'm a teacher. It's a big learning curve out here to not pigeonhole certain things as one particular thing, but have a wide scope. Because one thing Chief Nighthawk always talked about was humanity evolving.
Mm.
And that's what the brother was trying to say to when you were speaking, is that this is not about good or bad. We passed that. This is about things you haven't even seen. We're evolving into something that we haven't even seen yet.
Mm.
And that can be a cause for alarm for some people, because it's like, I don't know if I want to go over there. I've never been there. But some of us are brave enough to really go into that new frontier and with eyes open and say, okay, I'm gonna go over there myself, and I'm gonna let y'all know what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Chief Nighthawk was that person. I'm that person. You know what I'm saying? So when you elevate your message to a brighter scope, you get to reach a lot more people, because no one feels I can't go over there because she only talking. I eat meat. Give me a ghetto girl who eat pork and got a good heart any day than all these other people running out here who don't eat meat. I'm a plant
And they
based,
fake.
and they have bad
Yes.
character.
Fake as I don't know what.
Yeah.
They don't treat you right.
Mm.
So I don't have, my whole thing is character.
Come on now.
Chief's whole thing was character.
Come on, sister.
Yes.
Come on, sister. Come on.
Because
Thank
that's
you.
all. It really don't matter what you've
Mm.
chosen in your life, but can you do the simplest thing? Is just treat your brother like you would want to be treated.
Yes.
It's a real simple concept,
Love and kind.
but it's hard to do for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So the psychedelic conference is invited anybody that wants to come. I have the early bird tickets on sale now. They're $100 for a 2-day. Get this, 2-day. We're gonna have lectures. So it's a psychedelic and culture conference, heavy on the culture, because a lot of these conferences are really, white bread, and we want to bring the culture that is Atlanta as well. We want to bring the culture that is Black people's as well to these events, so that not only you're educated by psychedelics, but you're educated about the culture that's surrounding this area. It will be in the West End.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So-
So we'll be the
yes,
West
that's
End.
home.
Huh? It's going to be the conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have it in the city. I wanted to have it in a place that would encompass vendors. So if you're listening to this and you want to be a vendor or a sponsor for this event, you can hit up at Nighthawk Therapy in our DMs. We'll definitely get back with you. We also have a VIP ticket, which is basically for the 2-day event, and also we have an exclusive after party.
All right.
And
Okay.
we also will have a swag bag that goes with that, which is very much something you probably want.
Awesome.
So if you follow at Nighthawk Therapy, I will be giving away a couple of tickets in the near future. We'll have a little raffle and stuff like that. So just follow us for more content and more information about Chief Nighthawk. Not only that, but just all of the things that we're doing to get to our goal of having a healing center. So I have a lot of different ideas surrounding this culture that I want to interject, that I want people to become a part of, because the community stood up so much when he passed, you know what I'm saying? And that I feel like it's only right for me to, in kind, show that gratitude. Like, I'm very grateful for the community, and they really did what they said it was going to do. And I'm just saying, this is a continuation. This is a marathon. This ain't no sprint. This legacy, I'm really understanding what legacy is, and we need to, as Black people, pillars in our community, we need to do more in that direction, and not just for celebrities. Somebody's buying Bob Marley's album right now.
Yeah.
That's how you live forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're riding that wave that this man, Chief Nighthawk, already created. I can't let that die. You know what I'm saying? I would be remiss. I would not be doing my children a favor if I don't do this. So, in his honor, we want to keep it, keep it innovative, because that's what he was a straight pioneer. He was not only a medicine man, but he was a prolific artist, not of only a musician, but also made a lot of different medicine things that go around the medicine world, like this, owl feather fan, prayer fan, like my necklace. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to my medicine bag I wear. So he created a lifestyle around what it is that he was doing on a daily basis. And when I met him, he didn't do none of these things. So it just shows you how the medicine, I became a better artist, how the medicine really learns you about yourself.
Okay.
There's nothing more important. Everybody, you can learn 50 million things about myself. If I don't know me, if I don't like me, none of that matters. So, this is a homage to people in humanity. We have to raise the consciousness by being ourselves. If you be yourself, you be yourself, she be herself, we'll all get there. But at the point that we want to have imposter syndrome, when we want to wear these masks that they had us wearing all these 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that was such a metaphor for the bullshit. Did you not see it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't wearing that shit.
Yeah.
Breathing
Because
in your own air.
that's a state of mind.
Yep.
COVID was a frequency.
Mm.
Each word has a frequency. The more you say that word, the more it's around you. That shit didn't come around me and my family.
Hell on.
Come on, man.
And I work with the public. I'm a hairstylist. I wasn't hiding. And it's not a brag. It's just saying, this is my world. This is my circumference. Who's in charge of your circumference? Because if it ain't you, you probably won't like what's happening. If someone else is talking for you, speaking for you. All these programs, that's what the medicine is really trying to debunk, is all these programs that we all have. Started from when we're little shorties. So when we can uproot those and say, what is serving me now at 30? What's serving me now at 40? Because I ain't 8 years old no more. And you have to go in there. That's the work. Everybody's talking like all these big, but if you simplify it, that's the work. You've been to school. You done got all these different programmings. You don't even know who you are. One of my favorite movies is Tropic Thunder, because they were kind of showing you in a spoof type of way what actors go through. But we ain't even getting paid to act, and folks out here acting. You know what I'm saying? So you got to unpack that. Set that shit on a table. Why am I carrying all this stuff around? What purpose does it serve? And when you see that it doesn't serve a purpose, you can just simply throw it in the fire. Because travel light as a feather. They weren't just saying that in the 42 laws of Ma'at. That's the judgment. Light as a feather. You know what I'm saying? So the less that we have to say, I have to carry this, my mama had it, my grandmother had. No, you don't. Choices. We all have them. But most people don't utilize your choice for whatever reasons. You know what I'm saying? So, I would just say that if you don't know anything about psychedelics, I'm not going to sit here and say psychedelics is for everybody, but it is a great precursor to you doing your work. It's the fast track in a lot of ways for you to do your work. It's not something new that we're doing. So more than likely, you'll come online because the DNA in you is 10 million years old plus. So somebody in your lineage did these medicines. I guarantee you. So when you bring that back online, you have a more sense of homeostasis. That's the goal. I'm not saying you will automatically have it. If you don't do your work, ain't nothing. It don't matter what you do. If you don't do your homework that you supposed to know you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's about being a you're not a full-grown adult until you're 44. So if you less than 44 in this room, give yourself a break.
Look And a hush comes over the room.
Oh, I'm loud and proud. I am not 44.
I'm almost there.
Shout out to Latifah Foster. Generational choices.
Absolutely.
Hey, Latifah.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You said a lot of gems, diamonds, garnet, emeralds.
She went platinum.
Yeah. You went platinum with everything that you said, and it's a lot that we could dissect and meditate on each one. But I want to pick one about the character.
Okay.
That really spoke to me because that's what is about. My brother Emerson was telling me about Chief Nighthawk. He was when he was doing the ceremonies, never took advantage of anybody, and that's powerful.
It is.
Like that's really noble because I know when people are under the influence of mushrooms and these, they could be easily suggestible.
Sure. Yes.
You
I
know.
mean, absolutely. Your integrity, who you are. I would say anyone doing this work, you have to have dealt with your base level self.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't covered those bases yet, when you get into your path and your purpose, it's just going to amplify whatever it is that you is.
Whatever it is that you is.
That's it. And so that's why a lot of people get told on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't mean to be,
Yeah.
but some of us could just see right through that facade. You know what I'm
Could you
saying?
tell us where to start for those who are listening? Where could we start on our journey to heal or figure out a sense of our root chakra? How can we get to that first element to elevate?
Being honest. Yes. Being honest. Because if you ain't honest with yourself, who cares about the others? But if you're honest with yourself, start there. You can just have a conversation in the mirror. Start there. Who am I being myself? Questions are gateways.
Ooh.
And the answers are always within you.
Questions are gateways. Whew. So start there. Ask the difficult questions to you.
Yep.
Why do I respond this way? I hate that. Why do you? Dig underneath those cobwebs, in them corners. Because a lot of things didn't begin with you. Give folk back their stuff. Oh, that's how my mama operated. I don't like that. I'm getting that back to her.
Facts.
Oh, that's my grandma.
That sounds.
I don't have to, again, choices.
That sounds like a little bit of asking people to be accountable. Do you think people are able to do that in this day and age?
If you're not doing it, then no.
Okay.
Accountable to who?
Yourself. You got to admit your flaws and faults. What I see in this day and age is when you have a circle of people telling you may be wrong, or just one person telling you you may be wrong, right? They'll go to social media to ask for an audience to coincide, to go along with their being right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you're fighting against this system versus this reality. And people are going to the system versus going to reality, and that's helping people get accountable for where they are with
or
themselves.
Fantasy.
Or the fantasy. There you go. I call it the Matrix. We're stuck in the Matrix.
Yeah. Very much so. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you have to get out of the world of good or bad. That's the first start. Because there's so many worlds. There's level to truths, there's level to lies. Sheesh. So what level, what we talking about? If you stay in neutral, you can go forwards or you can go backwards. But if you in drive, you're only going forward. If you in reverse, you're only going backwards. So I just try to stay in neutral spaces. But that's wisdom. And that takes you some time to learn. I'm not always successful, but I do. That's how I can rise above strife, irritation. Because I used to have a big problem with being irritated by people. It's like, why you don't get this? It's right here. They like, I don't see that. And then I had to I had to go into the multiverse of a plethora of perceptions. From your perception, you're right, Wayne. From your perception, Baba Soul, you're right. I'm right too. You see, how is that possible? Because of perceptions.
Because of perception.
I don't have to agree with your perception. I don't have to agree with his. But I can look from your lens, even if it's temporary. That's wisdom. Because that's what psychedelics help me go into that world where I don't have to stay one way or the other. So it cut out on my frustrations I was having. Because from your eye level, you're right. A child, if it was a little kid in here, they might not see all the way over there. So they're just describing what's in their scope of field. They not wrong. We just taller. That's it. So, that's where I want people. I feel like people should be getting to But you got to make a start about being honest about what it is that you are and what is you not, and being accountable for the shit that you do or have done. Even with it, if it's just with you. So like that, it's a personal experience. I feel like dealing with medicines and stuff, because if you did them by yourself, it's just you and the medicine, and you got to deal with that, what they showed you. You know what I'm saying? um what did you do with the information? Did you bring anything back? Like me and Chief Nighthawk, we would always talk about what it was that we brought back that other peoples could use, not only us but other people. So some people go out there and they don't see nothing. They don't bring nothing back. Just, oh, I saw a bright light and then I went in this doorway. It's like, that's great.
You get no downloads.
But I can't really use that collectively, So now that's going into the exploration avenues, of the medicine. Because it's a tool. These are technologies. So you want to look at them from, if you look at them from that lens, then it's like it changes things versus saying, like the government said, oh, these are just drugs.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, why are they Schedule Ones? Because they don't want you to see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Primarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, go into the other worlds. It's just in the next room. Like we open this door in another room.
Different portals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how has your journey been as far as with the plant medicine
Mm-hmm.
and you meeting brother Chief Nighthawk?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
Yes.
Well, you say it getting hot. Well, I would say my first time meeting Chief Nighthawk was about 7, maybe 8 years ago. I don't know. It was probably around the time my daughter had been born, maybe like 2, 3 years. I can't remember. She 9 now. But I went to an ayahuasca ceremony somewhere up north Georgia, and he was one of the brothers playing instruments, and he also did a little bit of the translating for the shaman, because the shaman, he wasn't from here. He didn't speak English at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fortunate to have that experience the first time, because he had a Merlin. You know what I'm talking about? It was a long instrument. You ever seen Kung Fu Hustle?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
When they playing that instrument, he had one of those. And when I was in the ceremony, I was there to drum and also partake. But that Merlin, man, it really like carried me into where I needed to. Cause that ceremony, I went to see my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of wild things. I seen myself die a couple of times in that ceremony. I seen that I was always a medicine man. You know what I'm saying? And that every lifetime I'll come back and do the same thing, because this is an ongoing battle for humans. And there are these entities that exist. They're like dark matter entities that take over our bodies, you know what I'm saying? And they use us because they don't have actual vessels, you know what I'm saying? This has been going on forever. I was taught this, you know what I'm saying? And when I was able to like build with Tellus after this ceremony, you know what I mean? Me and him thought alike, you know what I mean? And I started to build with him more and just try to inquire more. And I feel kind of bad because over the last year or whatever, I didn't get to see him as much. You know what I mean? I've been busy doing a lot of different things and moving around, but over the years though, I would go and just sit with him. I would get my pay from him. You know what I'm saying? We would talk. I would go to the sweats. You know what I mean? And he was always one of the individuals that spoke the truth about everything. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what fueled me to stay on my path, because in this sacred plant medicine world, you got sorcerers, you know what I'm saying? You got sorceresses as well, you know what I mean? Is that the right way to say it?
It's the right word to say.
Yeah. And you gotta be real. You gotta be real vigilant in that world because you, as a new person, ain't never took no medicine like that. You gotta have the right people to guide you in those spaces. You know what I mean? And he also gave other medicines like combo. You know what I mean?
San Pedro.
San Pedro, and it's a lot of different things that people trusted him with. You know what I mean? And I feel like that right there is merit. That's spiritual merit when you do good karma for good people. You know what I mean? I feel like his family they're gonna be A1. You know what I mean? From all the spiritual merits that he put into other individuals, because he was not only just working with the general public. He was messing with celebrities and stuff like that. You probably didn't know it because these people will be trying to tap into themselves too, going through Hollywood, going through sports, and all these different things. Like we be so adamant to have a status and become somebody in this what Darling call it the matrix, you know what I'm saying? But like in the medicine world, we pulling ourselves out of it. We're constantly fighting against it to reveal people what they actually have a veil over. You know what I mean? And it's hard unless you take the medicine. But you also got to take it with the right guidance and stuff. So I was fortunate to meet him and sit with him a few times, you know what I mean? But I had more conversations than I did with medicine with him. And I think that's medicine too. To be able to reflect with somebody and share your points of views and thoughts and also get guidance, you know what I mean? Because he was a big bro to me and we were both Aquarius too. So it's just like you don't meet too many Aquarius that are also doing psychedelic medicine and helping people because I had been doing mushrooms and DMT and all kind of different things before I got on ayahuasca. But that that ceremony in itself changed my whole trajectory into what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? Because it showed me who I was and I was on the right path because Tellis was a part of that ceremony and he had everybody write down why they were here. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you in this ceremony? What do you want to get from it? And I think that a lot of times people don't even ask you that. They'll take your money, sit you down, give you whatever water cut name. Cause I done sat a few times now since then. And the brew ain't as strong as it was then. When I drank it in that first ceremony, it was like mud and raisins. You know what I'm saying? It was thick. It was like drinking Hennessy though. It burned when it went down. I didn't, I haven't purged it from ayahuasca, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I think it's a good thing. I think I'm able to contain medicine, transmute it into life. But with that, you know what I'm saying. All the other ceremonies, they've been like water. You know what I mean? It's been cut. It ain't been that strong. I don't go where I need to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I can say, as far as my dealings with bro. But the high pay that I gave you, I got it from Tellis, you know what I mean? Chief Nighthawk, you know what I mean? Uh, Even the cigar box, my TP, my Caripe, all came from him. I ain't never get no other medicine or any other tools but from him because I trusted him like that. Like I looked up to him, you know what I mean? So like for real, that's how I I want to keep his legacy going too. You know what I mean? And just by what he placed upon me.
Mm. I love that.
Yes. So y'all speak about purging. You're speaking about purging. We all know what purging means. Of course, getting rid of waste that does not belong or anything that does not belong into our bodies. Now, are you hopping with Hoppe? Are you supposed to purge with the ayahuasca ceremony? Are you supposed to purge? Can you tell us how does that work? How does that operate? He also talks about some people kept it in. I remember I had a Hoppe ceremony at one point, and I ate very heavy before that, and I wanted to throw up, but I actually just we had to breathe it in and let the medicine do its work. So, can you tell us more about that?
There are Hoppes that induce purging. Some people do, you know what I'm saying? It's not everybody. There are different ways that purge looks. Let's say that. So crying, sweating, yawning, going doing number two in the bathroom. Is a big one. So it's not just vomiting, but it's it's thoughts, even getting those out. So purging looks different for different people. Some you're gonna do one of those things in that pantheon. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't physically throw up, I'm sure you've purged in other ways.
I can tell you, that ceremony that I was with Tellison on ayahuasca, it it showed me how I had a lower vibrational entity that was in my root. You know what I'm saying? And like, so ever since I was a little child, I was managed. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching porn before I even knew what porn was. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah.
exposed to sex. Now I think the creator, I was never molested or raped, but I think mentally I was molested by porn and stuff. And so that was placed into me through my eyes. You know what I mean? And so like I was always going after sex. I was a very sexual deviant in life. You know what I mean? And in that ceremony, I swear, I tell you this, I went to the bathroom and like I seen all of like the sexual encounters that I've had in my life and how they translated from that first moment of when I seen porn and all that kind of stuff. And I pissed, and there was a like a dark entity slug that came out of my lingo. You know what I'm saying? And it
What?
slid into the toilet. And after that, tears came out of my eyes, but I felt so much joy. I was like, wow, did I just do that? And it was like that was a lust demon or something, you know what I mean? And after that, I interacted and I seen other people's leaving them. There was a woman in that ceremony. She had them flying in her and out of her, and she kept saying, "Get off of me, get off of me." You know what I mean? I don't know if everybody else could see it because I wear glasses. I got contacts in right now, but I took them out for that ceremony. I didn't have nothing on, and my ancestors told me they were gonna show me what I need to see. And I was seeing everything. I was seeing everybody traumas, everything they had to release. There was a brother next to me that was yelling and stuff coming out of his mouth. You know what I mean? It's so many different ways to purge. You know what I'm saying? You can laugh your ass off by purging too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It'll feel like you're vomiting while you're laughing, but it's a laugh. You know what I mean? It's something that you need to get out that are deep stored into your subconscious. Yeah.
Got a comment on the stream. Outstanding. Well, you're doing just that with that sacred sweat lodge. You facilitate last shadow. Thank us.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, now.
Definitely.
And
Hey,
Washita Wellness Center. Shout out.
definitely shouts out the Wellness Center, and I want to say shouts out to Baba Soul Emerson. They got a sweat lounge that they doing too. Y'all make
Sweat
sure.
lodge, man.
Excuse me. A sweat lodge. A sweat lodge.
Yeah, you got to be careful because the lodge and the lounge is two different things.
Everybody pull up with the
Hey,
drinks.
I go to lounges to sweat for different reasons. Okay.
I thought this was the lounge. Nah, man. It's bugs out here, spiders and everything.
Yeah. So y'all definitely tap in with him. I want to ask. Well, I want to bring one more thing up.
Sure.
I think it's beautiful, and like just this year, now that I realize it, I'm seeing it more. A lot more of our people embracing their Native American parts of them. Embracing that culture.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it more. And just like I was telling Soul, like I'm able to appreciate it and see the beauty and the magic and the power in it. Like, so what tribe was Chief Nighthawk in?
So he was a part of Yamasee Nation. He was the official medicine man for them. So that is something that he tapped into with the medicines. He was able to he got maybe like 15 headdresses he made, bunch of prayer fans. I mean, he collected birds. That's why he the Chief Nighthawk, which is an owl. You know what I'm saying? And he's a native of Atlanta. So Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, Carolinas, all of that was a part of the Yamasee Nation, That was the original, a lot of the original names that was for indigenous peoples here that look like you and I, and then that
Yeah.
was, when we say Native American, a lot of people have an image in their mind
Yes.
that don't look like us,
Yes.
and so he was just representing, who we are, because when you go in those worlds, you see this. You know what I'm saying? You get the inspiration. Like I've always known about my native side and my family because we've always talked about it. My people are out there in Oklahoma, but also my daddy's peoples is from Georgia and
I
stuff
got
like
people
that.
out there
So
too. Oklahoma.
yeah, so a lot of us, it's just we're not doing nothing new on no
Mm.
stretch of the
Mm.
imagination. What we are doing is remembering,
Remembering.
and that is very powerful at a time like this. That the children, that we are on notice about these things that's just coming back online. And so the more we do our work, the more things come back online, because now you have space, now you have clarity for them to come and teach you. You know what I'm saying? So you can represent that. And so he represented that well. A lot of people thought he was just, doing stuff, like he wasn't tapped into it.
Mm.
But he wasn't just called Chief Nighthawk. That's really what he is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even now when he visit me and stuff happens, the owls will go crazy, and we've always had owls around us in my backyard every night for years, over 10 years. And when I found out people don't hear owls, I was like, really? Or Seahawks. I'm like, this is an everyday lifestyle for me.
Mm.
um Hummingbirds, I see them every year. Some people never see a hummingbird. Like I've seen a lot of things, because that world opens up to you. Before it was closed, now it's open to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that teaches you, because if it's a grasshopper on your car, you might want to look that up. You don't want to just knock them away and get in your car like that wasn't no message. So the subtle things, people be looking for this hoopla, but it be the subtle things that's supposed to learn you, but you done missed it because you're looking for bells and whistles. That ain't how the spirits be talking sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very calm. So you have to learn how your intuition works so that you can follow your intuition, not someone else's. But you have to look around you. It's answers everywhere. But if you have a particular way the answer need to come to you, you're gonna miss it.
You gonna miss
So yeah, Yamasee Nation, and he definitely embodied that. A lot of the things that we were learning were from ceremonies that we would bring back and utilize, and it checked out in this reality.
it. Mm.
So yeah, I'm really trying to have that representation at the ceremony. At the conference that's coming up in October. I gotta just wait on my confirmation for that, but that's why I said heavy on the culture, because we want to bring in those type of understanding of feathers as technology, not just some, oh, this is cute, but as
Wow.
a real technology, as a tool.
So you spoke on the feathers. I find feathers quite frequently, almost every week.
Mm-hmm.
Sizes varies. Literally found one this big as I was exercising at a track.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give a brief information about what it means when you find feathers? How can you tap into finding feathers? Because I have deers that's always in my yard. I have feathers that always comes to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the meaning. But can you bring insight to those who are also watching and listening to us as well? What does
I
these
mean,
things
it's
mean?
it's really just about how much you're paying attention. You might walk by something every day. It's just
Mhm.
like, for instance, say you get a new car that's, white.
Let me see that card.
Now you see that car everywhere. Why? Because
Yeah.
you have that car. Whereas
Mhm.
before, that car didn't exist in your world.
Mm.
Red cardinals too. I said, hey, they're talking to us. They're like, no, they're not. And I'm like, hey. I speak to them and they're like, chirp, chirp. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
the
And if
bird
you
really spoke back to you.
and if you
Yes.
knew Chief Nighthawk, he had one of the illest whistles that just was non-human. Wouldn't you say? Like, I listen to his whistles now, and I'll just be like, "How did I wish I could do that." Like, he would talk to the birds on a regular basis
Really?
through his whistle. Yeah, because that world is open to you. But if you think that animals are just in your circumference just because, then it's not real to you. It's okay. When it opens up to you, that's when you're supposed to know about it, not a moment sooner. So
I'd like to add to that too. I feel like birds are messengers, you know, the closest things to angels that we could interpret here on this planet. And so when you find these feathers, you know what I mean, it's a cursor, you know what I mean? It was like a stamp on your timeline. Think about what are you thinking about at that time?
Yeah.
What are you moving? What vibration are you on when you find those different things? You know, because like when I found that red tail feather yesterday, I had picked up a blue jay feather right before that. And then I was like, man, I love blue jay feathers, but boy, I really love red tail hawk feathers. And I tell you, as soon as I said that, it was right there in front of me. And it was like, I don't know if my mind picked that up before or if I was just manifested it or if it was in alignment with just how I'm moving because I'm moving in a certain kind of way right now. And every time I'm telling somebody something, I look up and my spirit animal is flying up. My red tail hawk, you know what I mean? When we were sweating the other night, we heard the Nighthawk. You remember that? And we poured up. We poured for Chief. And
we did.
And he was out there. You know what I mean? Or you, whoa, you know, all them different things. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to go ahead and close off this interview. Everyone, make sure y'all subscribe to the Vibe Nighthawk Therapy and Yoni
_ Pooja Atlanta.
Definitely for y'all could be up to date. We have reviewed the theme of purging, getting things out of your body. Also, as well as being more open-minded to psychedelics. It may be for you or it may not be. But don't just listen to what the government tell you. You do your own research. And everything that we're doing ain't nothing new. We've been doing it. We've been doing it. And so I want to make sure y'all subscribe to the Vibe of Baba Soul. Appreciate his testimony, his insight. Definitely. Subscribe to the Vibe of Empress Ashanti. Subscribe to the Vibe of Yale Entertainment. And I want to close this off with some words. Remembering. You've been here before. You already walked this walk. You already talked the talk. You just got to remember. Remembering why you're here. Remembering the lessons you learned. Remembering your purpose. Remembering about your people. Purging yourself from the illness that's in this world. Purging yourself from the negative programs. The program for you to hate yourself. The program for you to not love who you are. The program for you to be of this status, to be of this caliber. Rid yourself of it and just be you. Does it serve you? Let loose of the idea of good and bad and focus on what serves you. Yes, have morals and moralities, but you create them and you empower yourself with them. And focus on getting back to yourself and remembering your legacy. Just like today, we are in remembrance and acknowledgement of the legend of Chief Nighthawk and everything that he has did for our community to grow, to flourish, to elevate. Now find your purpose, find your gift, and use that to elevate. Use that to motivate. Use that to raise people into a higher place. Use that power that's inside of you to bring it back to the people, but they can acknowledge the power inside of them. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Let's get it. Hey.
Talking about I'm a priest, nigga.